Hi, it's Kathleen from Daily Academy, mom of 5, homeschooling 2 of them, ages 11 and 14. In this video, I wanted to talk about my 11-year-old, or rising grade 6's forensics plan for the science for the 2025-2026 school year. I'm using something called Forensics Illustrated. It's completely free online. It is pretty old, and you need to, add to it a little bit it's a little rusty. But I don't like any of the curriculums I found and can't afford the ones that do look good. So this is what we're going with. And I'm going to add things along as I want. So I'm going to turn you around first and show you what I have in my forensics folder that I made for her curriculum. And then I'm going to also come back to you and talk to you about other things that I've added in and where you can find that. So I'll turn you around. Okay, so this is my forensics folder. You can see most of it. It's just one of these things I already had on hand. You don't have to use anything specific. But this little one at the bottom here, this is the logo for the Forensics Illustrated program, and then I used some of the pictures that they include in their program, printed them out on black and white, stuck that in, nothing special. It's one of those things that has like folders you can put papers in on both sides. And so in the very first section, I have printed out the supplies you need for forensics. And so I went through and I marked down oh, I'm going to get this from Amazon. Oh, I already have this, or use this instead. And I went through all the things that we had and figured out what we have, what we're going to get from Amazon, or what we're just going to skip because we just can't afford it. The $80 price for some of these things. But most of these stuff we can do. And then I wrote down a couple other ones that I mentioned we needed but weren't on the list. Alright, and then at the very back, I have the table of contents printed out so I can just overview exactly what we're going to do. Now, the different sections, Unit 1 is Introduction, 2 and Physical Evidence, those are kind of together. They have them together. 3, Glass and Soil, 4, Fingerprints. I'm in. 5 is Hair and Fiber. Now, Unit 6 and 7 are about guns, and I decided not to do that with my daughter. So I've made now Unit 6 is going to be Drugs and Paraphernalia. 7 is Chemical Analysis. 8 will be Bodies and Autopsies, although we're only doing part of that because I don't want to upset her, but she says she's good with some of this stuff. And Unit 9, DNA and Typing. Now, obviously, grade 6 is kind of early for most forensics, so this is a high school forensics curriculum. So I'm, picking and choosing what my daughter can handle. I'll let her know at the beginning, at any point that she's not handling it as well as she thought she would, we will back up a little bit. So I have intro and number 1 and number 2 physical evidence, and I printed off all the materials I need from the curriculum, which is all free online on the website. And I printed them all and put them in here so that I have them all set. So I don't know if I think we're doing one of these a month. So these will, this one's 1 and 2, but as you can see, the has stuff to read, some photos, this is showing you the crime scene investigator sketches the scene, collecting evidence. Then Unit 2 is Physical Evidence, glass and powder residue, explosives, foot prints. So this is stuff we're going to read together. But then this section doesn't have a lab, but the other ones, the lab is right at the back of them. So let me just show you say fingerprints. Okay, so fingerprints at the end of all the information. Okay, there's a little modus operandi page for them to do their fingerprints on. And then there's a fingerprint lab. So this tells you exactly what you're going to need, what you're going to do. This one's a little different from the other ones. The other ones see like this, materials needed, procedure, any cautions you need to know. So we're going to be able to do A, we can do B, we couldn't do because that's way too expensive. I couldn't find C either. So we're going to have trouble with that. But if you had the money to buy this stuff, then okay. So, and that's all in here. And so this is the information from the actual program. However, when I turn you back around to the computer, I'm going to show you, they also have photos and other things that go with it. So that is that. Let me turn you around. I'm going to show you a little bit on the computer, and then I'll come back to me. Okay, this is the Forensics Illustrated website. And so it is the, what they tells you, the description. It was a set of resources assembled and utilized to teach a high school forensics science class by a teacher. Published officially in 2004, but currently not in publication. The author placed all these materials for free use on the internet. So everything is here that you need. It tells you about the permissions that you can use and stuff like that. So the table of contents, you can either search by, you can look at it by category, like these are all the readings, all the PowerPoint presentations, practice worksheets, labs, pictures, assessments. Or you can look at resources by unit. So here's the different units. So like I said, I'm going to skip one because it's a little different, but like looking at unit 4, fingerprints. So reading, that's what I printed off, the reading. Then there's the unit presentations. Now these are all very basically made, but they work for our needs. And like I said, it's free, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, you see at the point. And then, so there's all these different unit presentations, random prints to read, so you can figure out like what, samples of ones that you can actually try to figure out what section they are, or what group they're in. And then there's unit worksheets and handouts. So there's the handouts, again, I printed those. And then there's worksheets, which I don't know if I didn't print these out, I guess I better. I think I did. And there's the keys even to show like the answers. You need password to open these, and so I can't remember now if I, wait a minute. So it says here, assessment tools and keys are password protected. If you are an educator, you may obtain a password. So I haven't done that yet. I need to email them, and hopefully they're still checking their email to get answer keys. Okay, so there's some posters, lab-related resources. So this is where it shows like, the handout pics, like showing you what you're supposed to be doing. And then additional pictures for Unit 4. So it goes into like Google Docs, and it's like if you want to see more of the loops or more of the whirls to kind of like figure out, or like actual pictures. This is like spraying a print with silver nitrate to develop it. Again, very crappy quality, but because this is old. Removing a glove, like there's literally tells you, show you how to do things, all kinds of stuff from an actual classroom, which is kind of cool, especially if you're homeschooling. And then we're not doing tests, but there's tests as well. And keys. Okay. And then yeah, so there's lots of labs and whatever, so you can look through all the labs and see what you want to do. There is there's like if you were working in a class and you wanted to ask parents permissions. Again, we're not younger, so we're not younger. We are younger, so we're not going to do like the watching learning too much about serial killers and stuff like that. The suggested list of items to purchase. Like I said, it's a very old thing, and so it talks about watching seasons of CSI. It's like the 4th season is the most current to be on sale. Meanwhile, there's like a million CSIs now. But yeah, actual autopsy videos, we're not going to watch that. Red Dragon, Silence of the Lambs, Ted Bundy, it's all high school stuff, so we're not going to be ignoring that stuff. But that's the fun about using a free curriculum, is you can literally do anything you want with it. You can choose the ones you like. There's a final exam if you did want to use that. Directions for writing lab reports, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, the different presentations, like here's one on DNA typing. Like I said, it's very old, very like, simple graphics and stuff like that compared to what we can do now, but it'll suit my purpose. Now, that is the actual curriculum. However, I'm using lots of other resources that I found. I'm just trying to see if I put them in a... What's this, Okay, sorry for the jump. I downloaded these things already, so I'll have to put in the description where to find these things. But a lot of these things are from the website is related to the CSI show, and so they have different activities that you can do online. So it's available online, but like this tells you exactly what you're going to do, what the activity is. Some of them are done online, some of them you can do offline. It depends. So I'm going to be printing all those and adding them into the sections that they make more sense of. So this is like shredding a document and having them assemble it back together. These are made for classes, but you absolutely can do these all on your own. And then I have worksheets to go with like some of the CSI, the experience, that's what this is called, sorry, things too. So I have a bunch of free stuff that I found, and I'm going to get those all in the description for you. I'm going to turn you around now. Okay, so I mentioned in another video, I don't even know which ones I'm posting first, so I don't know if you'll have already seen this, possibly, but I also got Forensics for Dummies for review, and it is absolutely not to be used for children. It is an adult book. I'm going to be using it as add-ons. So I'm going to go through the book, not read the whole thing because I don't have time for that right now, but I will be reading it at some point. But going through the book and finding sections that might be helpful. Like, I don't know if I can find it again, but there was a section I saw when I made the other video. I don't know where it is now. There was different things in here that I thought were interesting. Like, this is a peeking inside the criminalist toolbox. I could share that part. Or there's, let's see. I of course can't find anything at the moment, but there's different like things in here that are like, oh. So there are definitely, this is it's tumbling over my words. There are sections at the back. Every For Dummies book has it. So this is 10 ways Hollywood gets it wrong. So I thought that'd be interesting to learn about, and 10 great forensic careers. But for the most part, I'm not using this for school. It's more for just me. But like, there are definitely some parts in here that I guess I can't find at the moment, but I will mark them down and be like, okay, when we end this section, reference Forensics for Dummies, page 22 or whatever page it is. Oh, here it is. I found it. Developing the Science, a trip through fingerprint history. So the trip through using history of using fingerprints from prehistory all the way to 1910. So that's something, for example, that's not included in our curriculum that I would love to include. So that's something that could be possibly added. And yeah, so I'm still looking for other resources that I want to add in, and as I find them, I'll print them if they're printable, or make a note if they're not, and put them right into this so that I know what month we're doing this one. We're also going to do these other activities, and that is how I'm working out her forensics. We decided to do it for the whole year because she really wants to do a deep dive as much as possible. And I mean, we're still not even going to cover everything. That's how deep forensics is, obviously. But she can do a forensics again in high school for a credit if she wants, and we can deep dive even more so. So that is all I wanted to share for you. If you have any questions or suggestions for things that you think would work in the forensics curriculum, let me know. I will be adding all these resources into my Homeschool for Free website under Science Forensics as soon as I can, and I'll be making a blog post as well about everything that used for the forensics class. But it's everything that's already been in this video, so you already know it. And that's all I'm going to share for today. Thanks. Bye.